For my next anime review, I'm doing Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, A Lonely Dragon Wants to Be Loved. This film is done by Kyoto Animation, and it is rated PG-13. When it comes to the studio Kyoto Animation, there's very few projects that I can really give any major criticism towards. And with me being a big fan of the first two seasons of Dragon Maid, I was really looking forward to finally seeing the movie. If I had to pick out two criticisms that I just want to get out of the way, the OP for the movie is kind of mid, if I'm going to be honest. The first two seasons openings were a lot better. Now, the music has got nothing to do with it. The music, the song that they picked for the opening is from the first season's opening. So the song was fine. Just the opening animation is kind of mid compared to previous seasons. Although the ending theme I thought was really good. I enjoyed the whole credit sequence. That was really good. The OST for this film is just fantastic. The emotional beats that they hit in this film, especially with the relationship between Kana and her father in the film, I thought they handled that aspect really well. And this whole film has a strong message of the importance of fatherhood. Within the film, Kana is looking at other children playing with their fathers in the park and just spending time with them. And if you have watched the past two seasons of Dragon Maid, you know that Kana has been estranged from her father because of a prank she pulled, and because of that she's had to try to deal with that. And this movie goes into more depth on what Kana has been having to deal with, and that whole part of the film is the main crux. It is, of course, there's the whole action, which is great in this film. I really enjoyed the action that Kyoto Animation pulls in this film. The characterizations of all the characters I thought were really good. There's one other thing that I can see that people will find kind of lackluster, but honestly it fits within Dragon Maid, which would be the villain. I actually found him to be pretty good. His motivations, what he's doing is very understandable, and Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid in general hasn't really had too many. The villains have never been the focal point. It's always been the main cast. So the villain of this film didn't really bother me, and I didn't really find him to be a problem. But I can understand if some people do. That's just depend. It's just up to your opinion. The animation, as usual, is absolutely gorgeous in this film. Kyoto Animation always excels at that. They have some of the most gorgeous animated movies and TV shows, period. The pacing as well in this film is excellent. This movie doesn't feel too long, and it doesn't feel too short. It gets to everything it needs to, and it is able to hit every emotional gut punch that this film intends to throw at you. And like I was saying, most of those come from the relationship between Kana and her father. Miss Kobayashi also gets some great character development in this film as well. For those of you who do not know, Kobayashi's role in this film is basically Kana's adopted parent. So Miss Kobayashi is protective of Kana because, well, basically adopted parent. And this especially from the previous two seasons. The editing in this film is also very good. They pull some really neat camera tricks and edits that I thought were really good, especially during the final battle. I thought some of those editing choices was really good, and some of the camera work I really liked, especially when Kana was dealing with the main villain of the film. The writing in this film overall is excellent. There's no plot holes. It does a great job with the continuation from the previous 2 seasons, and hopefully we do get a season 3. Between the writing, the characters, the OST, the action, and only a handful of criticisms in my opinion, and that is why my score for Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is a very high 9 out of 10. There are, other than a few criticisms that I have with this film, like I've mentioned before, this film is fantastic. If you are a fan of Dragon Maid, I'm pretty sure you've already watched this film, but if not, it is currently streaming on Crunchyroll, thankfully, and I do recommend that you, if you can, purchase and get this series on Blu-ray. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of the review, or if you are a fan of Dragon Maid in general, let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. Anyway, that's all from me. This has been Ryder. I'm out.